I'm Eric, the History Detective, and what better way to start a video about Civil War bullets than to visit one of the most famous arsenals in United States history. I got Shannon and Megan with me today to help me out and show you some of the historical sites around town. Welcome to Harpers Ferry, West Virginia.
You can come to Thomas Jefferson's Rock, where he stood in 1783.
St. Peter's Roman Catholic Church.
Erected 1830, rebuilt 1896. This is the rebuilt engine house, also known as John Brown's Fort.
This is the site where the John Brown raid came to a bloody end here in Harpers Ferry in 1859. It was also the John Brown raid that helped spark the Civil War. Okay guys, I thought this would be a great opportunity to take a short break and talk a little bit about Civil War bullets. There literally were hundreds, if not thousands, of variants of bullets used during the Civil War, and I have laid out here in front of me several of them for you to check out. If I start at the top, right here, we have two musket balls. So when you hear the term musket ball, it means these round ball styles. Over here is three different types of three-ring mini ball. And the reason I'm doing this video is to discuss the three-ringer a little bit more, but I want to show you a little comparison. Over here, if you've seen any of my other videos, we have two carbine bullets, a Burnside and a Sharps. Up here are fired bullets, a Confederate Gardner, and a mushroomed three-ring mini ball. And you can look at a fired bullet and see the damage done from it being fired. This is a perfect example of a mushroomed three-ring mini ball. You can imagine the damage that would do when it hit you during the Civil War. That bullet would just flat mushroom like that, and it would do a significant amount of damage. Now we come to our bottom row, and over here are Williams cleaners, a type 1, a type 2, and a type 3. These, you dig sometimes, are the posts that fall out of the cleaners. They were just stuck up inside there between the bullet and the cleaning patch. Over here, we have some tower style bullets, and these are big, heavy, smooth Confederate lead bullets. This is a very heavy bullet. Now you're probably wondering about this one over here. This one was actually wormed or removed from the barrel. And this piece stuck in the top is the piece that you would screw onto the ramrod to quickly slam down the barrel into the bullet. You can see here it's threaded. You would screw it into the bullet and remove it for whatever reason. Maybe it didn't fire. Maybe the powder got wet. Maybe the battle's over and you're just cleaning out your gun and you want to make sure it's unloaded. So that right there is those two pieces together. And then down here is a three-piece Shaler bullet. These are pretty rare. It was meant to be fired as one, but as I remove and kind of separate these, you can see that it is actually three pieces in one. Kind of a fascinating bullet. I believe these started to come out sometime before Gettysburg. The concept was when you fired it, the three pieces would come apart and you would pretty much be turning your rifle into a shotgun. Only this thing is something like 700 and some grains. It's very heavy. It didn't really work the way they thought it was going to work, and you didn't get a lot of range with a bullet that heavy. So let's focus on the 3-ring mini ball for just a minute. Here's a nice cleaned one. And during the video, I talked about identifying them. And the only way to identify these projectiles properly is to get yourself a good book, which I'm going to have a picture of one for you here in a minute, the one I use, and a set of digital calipers to measure the length and measure the width. And then you can go through the book and kind of find out a little bit something about that bullet. Now, if we look up inside the cone right here, you'll see a little dirt all the way at the end. Some of these bullets have identifying characteristics from the arsenals they came from. They'll have an embossed letter up there or a symbol. Now, here in the East, we find a lot of what I call star bullets. This is just a blank or a plain standard 3-ringer. But a star bullet would have a star embossed up there in the top center. And that star came from the Washington Arsenal. And that's why we find them out here, being that that arsenal is so close to us. The other one I have found out here that's pretty rare is a US embossed bullet. The letters U and S are up there in the tip of the cone. And that was a very short run from my research from the Springfield Arsenal, also out here in the East. So when you dig those bullets, I take a toothpick or this little needle type thing, and I clean out there real carefully, and I look for any type of symbol to kind of find out where it might have come from. And it's kind of an extra reward too. So I'm going to include pictures of a star base following this segment, my US base, and also the book and digital calipers I use for bullet identification. And I hope that helps explain a little bit to you guys about these bullets and their origins. And if you're out there hunting them and you want to identify them, you could use this little information to help you. All right, let's get back to the video. While I was editing, I noticed I made a mistake I want to correct really quick. And that is when I picked up this bullet right here, I described it as tower style, but that is in fact an infield. It is this one here with the wormer in it that is actually tower style. So we got tower style there with our wormer, and we have an infield right there. I thought it would be better to show you real quick the digital calipers instead of taking a photograph. I just use a pair of Husky digital calipers. Get them at any hardware store. These might have come from Home Depot. But that's how you can check your width. You can see I have my 3-ringer in the calipers, and I'm checking the width. It comes out to 56.45, and then I use the book to cross-reference that. And a lot of these are called 57 calibers. There's tons of 3-ringers that will mic out between 56 and 58. And there's some much bigger, like the 69 caliper. And again, I'm just showing width. I also check the length. I also check what the inside of the cone looks like. Some of those openings are small. Some of them are large, like this one. And some of them are flat across the back. They don't have any opening at all. And you can also see how the rings are a little different. Look very closely at how flat these rings are on this 3-ringer. Now, I want to pull this one up here. Look how these rings are not flat. They're kind of angled inward as the ring works its way down towards the base. So again, a lot of different variants out there. And I often say, oh, it's a Union 3-ringer when I dig these. But the fact of the matter is the mini balls were used by both the Confederates and they were used by the Union troops. And they captured each other's supplies, especially the Confederates. They would capture lots of Union wagon trains and such, loaded down with ammunition, and they could make just about anything work. So 3-ring mini balls, definitely the most common bullet of the Civil War, used frequently in the rifles by both Union and Confederate troops. And I hope that helps you guys out. I thought a quick video of the book would be more helpful than a quick snapshot. So here is the book that I use. This is Civil War Projectiles, 2nd edition, small arms, and this also includes the field artillery. It is by McKee and Mason, and I'm going to open it up so you can see an example of what I'm talking about. When we open this up here, I'm at a page that just shows a lot of variants of 3-ring mini balls, and this is just one page. They're identified by shape, size, width. You can see they show pictures of the cone, and then they're numbered. And then you go over here to your chart and you look up those bullets, and they are done by size and by caliber, and then he gives you information on them. So this is a wonderful book. It is a great reference tool, and I know you can get those out there to help you identify bullets.
I am standing in front of the Harpers Ferry Visitor Center. It has stood here for many years, and as you can see, it is very old. And in 3 points in those years, there were 3 very famous and very important generals that stayed here. They were Robert E. Lee, Jeb Stuart, and U.S. Grant. These plaques are here to summarize Stonewall Jackson's capture of Harpers Ferry, September 15, 1862.
September 15th, 1862 was just 2 days before the Battle of Antietam. Stonewall Jackson had been dispatched to Harpers Ferry by General Robert E. Lee to capture the garrison there, because that garrison was a threat to Robert E. Lee's rear when he was trying to bring his army together at Sharpsburg, Maryland. Jackson surrounded Harpers Ferry and captured the area along with 12,500 Union soldiers and officers. That was the biggest surrender and capture of American military personnel in U.S. history. Well, we are back at the Jeep and we have finished our outing to historical Harpers Ferry. If you are ever in the area, put Harpers Ferry on your list of places to visit, because this is one amazing stop. Our little outing today, we didn't even scratch the surface of everything Harpers Ferry has to offer. So I also want to thank the National Park Service for some information that they provided us during our tour today. And I want you guys to remember,
If you're out there hunting history, keep on hunting.
because
You can never see it all. See you next time.